It's 1985. You're standing on a street corner. You're 15 minutes late. There is no phone in your pocket. No way to call ahead. No way to text. No way to know whether the other person is still waiting, has already left, or never came at all. So what do? Today, the answer seems obvious. You'd simply send a message. But for almost all of human history, that wasn't possible. And yet people still met each other. They kept appointments, built businesses, organized entire civilizations without the ability to update plans in real time. How? Let's go back before telephones. Imagine living in a small town in the 1800s. You've agreed to meet a friend at noon outside the market square. On the way, something goes wrong. Your horse loses a shoe. A storm slows you down. A family emergency keeps you home. You're going to be late, and there is absolutely nothing you can do to tell them. Most people assume this would have created constant chaos, but it didn't. Instead, people adapted. Without instant communication, they had to solve problems before they happened, not after. They planned farther ahead, left extra travel time, and chose meeting places that were easy to find. Most importantly, they didn't organize life around exact minutes. Instead of saying 3:15, they said in the afternoon or after the church bells. Vague time wasn't a flaw. It was a survival strategy. But what if you couldn't make it at all? Then, your only option was another person. Neighbors, children, servants, or hired messengers carried news from one place to another. If nobody was available, people often left handwritten notes at inns, taverns, train stations, or other common meeting places. An entire system of human messengers existed to do what your smartphone now accomplishes in seconds. Because explanations were difficult, reliability became incredibly valuable. Being on time wasn't simply polite. It was proof that your word could be trusted. A person's reputation depended on showing up when they promised. Long before personal clocks became common, communities relied on church bells to coordinate daily life. Everyone heard the same signal at the same moment. The bell became a shared clock for an entire town. For urgent long-distance communication, civilizations created relay riders, beacon fires, and smoke signals. These systems were fast, but they carried only the simplest information. The faster the message traveled, the less it could say. For ordinary people, however, everyday life depended on something much simpler: patience. Waiting wasn't unusual. People expected delays. They read books, talked to strangers, or simply watched the street while they waited. Today, many of us become anxious if someone is only a few minutes late without sending a text. Our ancestors had no choice but to develop patience because there was no alternative. Then came the telegraph. Messages could suddenly travel faster than horses or ships. But the telegraph didn't solve the real problem. It could reach a building. It couldn't reach a person already walking to a meeting. Even early telephones had the same limitation. If you had already left home, the phone couldn't find you. People created backup plans instead. If I'm not there by 6:15, call my sister. If I'm delayed, check the train station. Later, public payphones helped, but only if you had coins, remembered the number, and happened to find a working phone nearby. For almost all of human history, one simple fact remained true. The moment you walked out your front door, you became unreachable. No updates, no corrections, no reassurance, only the original plan and trust. That's the hidden lesson in this story. Trust wasn't simply a moral value. It was infrastructure. It was the technology that allowed society to function before instant communication existed. People weren't naturally more disciplined than we are today. They became disciplined because the cost of being unreliable was so much higher. There was no easy way to fix mistakes afterward. Today, we have more communication tools than any generation before us. Yet last-minute cancellations, constant delays, and broken plans often feel more common than ever. Why? Because the ability to instantly say, "Sorry, I'm running 10 minutes late," has removed much of the social cost of being late. Plans bend instead of breaking. And over time, that changes what society considers acceptable. The mobile phone didn't just solve the problem of lateness. It quietly changed why punctuality mattered in the first place. So when you picture that person standing on a street corner in 1985, waiting without any way to know what's happening, Don't think of them as living in a worse world. They were living under a different social contract, one built on commitment before the fact, instead of correction after it. And maybe that's the real question. Not how people told others they were running late, but what we lost the moment we gained the ab.